Geno Smith and the Seahawks were clutch in overtime, marching down the field for 75 yards in 9 plays on 4 minutes to secure victory for the Seahawks over the Lions in week 2. All right, this is a huge drive out of the Seahawks offense. I really think everyone contributed. Geno, the protection, the receivers, the tight ends. I thought Shane Waldron called a magnificent drive. It was really an all-around team effort. It was just the offense outplaying the defense, which they more or less have been doing all game long. So let's take a look at what made this so special and why they were able to score so quickly. So they come out on 13 personnel under center. They forced Detroit's kind of base look. So right away, theoretically, if you can force base personnel and you get one high, you should be able to play action well enough. Geno quickly comes off DK's kind of deep out route, and which this is targetable, but the strong flat defender is underneath it. So I think Geno was wise not to throw this. Instead progresses to Noah Fant's kind of nestled cross where he sits down, or kind of a deep whip route, I think, or deep pivot route that the Sean McVay tree calls it. It's wide open over the middle. What really stands out about this play for me, what really makes it, is that Stone Forsythe holds up really well against Aiden Hutchinson here. This is slide protection. So the whole point is that when they zone step out of their stance, you're slowing down the blocker's keys because they're keying run. Aiden's a smart player, so he sifts out that this isn't play action pretty quickly. His first steps are upfield, and he kind of disregards what Stone's doing. So Stone is at a disadvantage right off the bat because he is sliding to someone who is speed rushing, and he has to close distance pretty quickly. So immediately 4 or 5 yards of depth in the pocket. Forsythe is already, his hips are hinged open already. And Hutchinson is gaining depth on him into half man. So Hutchinson's inside half is on Forsythe's upfield shoulder, his outside half. And Hutchinson is a very good, he has a really big like corner move tool belt, meaning when he gets into this half man position, he can knock down the outside arm, rip underneath, or just get clean and bend it flat toward the quarterback. Right here, though, as he attempts kind of a club rip, Stone just latches on, is able to drop his pads and gets under him and generates lift and just rides him off his path. Let's look at the end zone angle. This is killer stuff. This is Stone Forsythe making a difference and actually helping them win. I mean, he shuts Aiden down. Aiden can't do anything. So that's a really good play there. On this next one, they run, I think, leak play action with a throwback outlet option to Walker. It doesn't pressure gets in his face pretty quickly. It might be a screen with leak. I don't think the leak is actually part of the progression or really part of the play. But if it was, pressure comes so quickly. I don't think Geno will be able to throw this on a line to Colby. He kind of have to float it, and I think the corner would have been able to make a play. And there's really nothing there to get it to Walker. So they kind of have to can the play pretty quick. And it sets up a 2nd and 10, so they're already against it. Then they run stick dig here. So you've got Noah Fant running like a stick route, kind of looks like an out route for the number 3 slot. And then Tyler runs a kind of a glance. They're trying to high-low the one of the linebackers here, but they end up blitzing the nickel. And they end up blitzing the nickel, and it looks like the mic is pushing to the glance, or no, excuse me. Yeah, the mic is pushing to the glance, so they overlap really well. But because that nickel is blitzing, there is an open slot here, even though this is 2 trap. So this guy's literally trying to trap Noah. But the spacing of the coverage still works in Seattle's favor, that Geno can get the ball out really quick. And he doesn't lead Noah, so he reads that the corner's trapping. So he makes sure not to lead Noah too much, just so kind of Noah can sit down with it. And they only get 2 yards out of it. It's a good play call by the Lions. But they 2-3 yards. But Seattle's still able to move the ball, but they're up against it now. It's 3 and 7. So this is where players just got to win. The Lions come out in 2-man here. Geno opens to the front side at the bottom of the screen. guys don't win. So it's cover 2 deep, and then guys are just playing like man trail underneath. So they're trying to play, the defenders are trying to play with low and inside leverage if they can, because they know that they have high and outside leverage help from their safeties, and it's not there. So Geno progresses to the backside dig, throws a dart, and DK wins his route. So let's take a look at DK's route. So I think DK feels out that this is trailed pretty quick. He sees that the safety's bailing, the corner is kind of overplaying the inside. So DK kind of sets him up hard, um, and is able to jab step to get vertical quickly. Now, because DK knows this is 2-man, that means the DB is playing again with low and inside leverage. The DB is in good position here. He knows that the corner is naturally disadvantaged and naturally out leveraged to anything outbreaking. So DK, to open up the inside, sells really hard to the outside, because he knows that if the DB wants to have any chance on anything outbreaking to undercut it, he's gonna have to sell out to close the distance, because he's already out leveraged by this naturally. So DK uses that pretense against him, fakes really hard to the outside, and is able to bend over the top for an easy pitch and catch. That's really smart route running from DK there. That freeze at the top. Excuse me. That's just really smart stuff from DK. It's him being crafty, because he's not an elite route runner, at least at the routes that he's not known for. So on those in breakers and stuff, he has to be crafty. He's not going to win with just pure feet. He has to use the context of the situation to his advantage. That's what he does here. And then Geno here, I mean, Geno he comes off the front side. He's calm in the pocket. He slides a little bit to his left. He knows Aiden is the problem area. Jay Curhan's been battling all game, but he knows that there's a little potential mismatch here that could strike at any point, even though it hasn't. And we see Aiden gets a little push. Had Geno not moved, he may not have been able to get this throw off on platform the way he wanted. If he was still on the hash, he might have been bumped right as he threw. So Geno was pretty savvy to feel that before it happened. And then he throws a bullet to DK, and they pick up the first down on 3rd and 7. So this is just, that right there is Shane Waldron trusting his guys and saying, go be the Pro Bowlers that you are. That's really good stuff. On this next play, we get a little inside zone up the middle. I think there might have been a read element. I'm not sure. I thought Geno might have kept this, honestly, because pre-snap he gets a let's get the camera in the right spot. So pre-snap, the force defender is completely out leveraged, and the weak safety is deep. The only guy he really has to worry about is the corner. It feels like, and maybe the mic if they scrape exchange it, but he's biting hard. Geno might have wanted this play back if indeed there was a read element, because beat one corner and you either have an explosive run or you're at least picking up 4 or 5 yards. So, but again, it only picks up 2-3 yards. So they're kind of up against it again. It's 2nd and 7. Now this play right here is Shane Waldron earning his money. Yeah. Let's wind it back a little bit. So first off, they're in 13 personnel again, and they're in trips bunch. So this is a formation. They're a tight bunch. This isn't something the league sees a lot. So first of all, it forces their base personnel, 3-4 personnel, and this guy has to be the flat defender pretty much. So the Shane Waldron knows that in this structure, the weak outside linebacker has to be the flat defender, and the strong guy, this guy is rushing, and unless it's like a pressure call. So because of that, they run play action with the running back releasing. Well, he's releasing up the middle, but because of that has 4 eligible receivers going one direction. So that triggers, the Lions are in cover 3. That's their primary call when they're in 3-4. That triggers pass back rules, and pass back rules in cover 3 is if we have 4 underneath defenders, one of these guys is the corner, one's the curl flat defender. I'm not sure up top, but you got a curl flat defender up top. You have your strong hook player right here, your weak hook player right here, and your weak flat player right there. If 4 goes strong, that means this guy at the bottom, he's responsible for the first crosser because that first crosser is the fourth guy, um, coming back. So the weak curl flat defender is the number 4 player. So Shane Waldron's able to manipulate them so that this guy effectively is responsible for leveraging a crossing route coming from the strong side to the weak side. That's very hard to do. I mean, it's hard for 240-pound linebackers to do, let alone for a 255, 260-pound guy who not only is 255, 260, but he's up on the line of scrimmage. He has a run fit, so the play action is going to hold him, and then he has to realize what the backfield distribution is and understand that that means he's responsible for Colby. The other element of this is that this is shotgun. You don't see a lot of shotgun flood play action, especially weak side flood. So and crucially, they're running weak side flow or weak side flood with the grain of the zone. A cheat for a lot of second level defenders is when you get play action and it's zone run action up front, you're typically getting the pass concept flow is against the grain of the flow of the zone. So they're running zone left. Watch this guy up top, or watch the mic. He starts expanding to the field because he's thinking that typically the combination that he would see is he would get flow or play action flow opposite the zone action. So Waldron running this from trips bunch with basically 4 strong and with the grain of the zone instead of against the grain is pretty much putting the linebackers in hell. I mean, they're not prepared for this at all. So he's manufacturing yards right here, and all Geno has to do is kind of drift away from pressure and keep his shoulders perpendicular and just get the ball to Kobe. So there's a lot of scheme going on here, and I think this is a really good stuff from Shane. All right, so as we move forward, so we get this trips bunch formation again. Now they run zone off of this again. But watch, and they only pick up 2 or 3 yards. I think Ken Walker tries to create some, but watch this guy at the bottom. So he doesn't even bother now. He opens up immediately looking to leverage crossers because he knows out of that same formation, if it's play action again, he's responsible. So this just goes to show retroactively on that previous play how much stress is put on this player. And now he plays it right this time, but it's after the damage has already been done. So I think that just kind of shows again, like how good that design was prior, because that's a spot that guy would rarely ever expect him to find himself in. All right, so in this next play that they motion DK over, they kind of get coverage confirmation. It's cover 3. They're running mirrored stick. So you have a flat route from Tyler up top, and then a stick route from Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. Then the same thing here. DK kind of runs his little flat route. It kind of looks like an out route. I think they call it an Omaha route. Then you have a stick route from Disley. Now, it's a half field read because it's mirrored, so you have to pick a side. I think pre-snap Geno sees that the corner is fairly off, but you read this inside out typically. So the strong safety has outside leverage on Disley. So Geno knows automatically he's pretty much has to go to DK. This is effectively a one read play. The only other option he has is hitting Walker on an outlet. So Geno knows he has to make this throw right. Could have come out maybe a tick earlier. If it does, you maybe get one more yard out of DK here. So he doesn't have to bend down as much, but he still does a good job of shielding the defender out of it. Yeah, so coming up to the last play, so they're rolling now, but it's 3rd and 2. Maybe if DK got that extra yard, they would have been able to get into their short yardage ground game, 3rd and 1, maybe even sneak it, which has been effective for them. But this next play, so they're running, you got a slant weak, and then they kind of have this kind of like a pick play to free Jackson up. But immediately, so the coverage the Lions are in, it looks like, man, you don't have a deep safety. The safety is actually cheating over here. So they're running their double coverage on DK. I think it's like zero doubles. So they're playing what is usually cover one, except the free safety is doubling to the weak side with a cone on DK Metcalf. So I think it might be cover zero double with a four-man rush. So DK sees that, or Geno sees the weak safety doubling him, doesn't even think about it. And then he immediately progresses to the backside. Pressure's coming. So had it not, Geno might have been able to get this throw off. I don't think he can step up and get this throw off at the same time. He also doesn't know if this guy will fall off Disley. So instead, he goes all the way coast to coast, gets to Tyler, extends the play. Curran starts to lose his guy on the scramble. Um, Geno gets the throw off. And I'm not even sure if this was even like an official route for Lockett, but this is just Geno getting to the backside and getting to his guy, really getting to Tyler Lockett, one of his security blankets, and Lockett just makes an effort. So this was good stuff from everybody involved. There's a little bit of just guys winning. There was Shane Waldron manipulating personnel with different packages, personnel groupings, and then it was also just Geno just being really efficient, being really accurate, and not trying to do too much, just doing exactly what there was to take advantage of, really. So yeah, hype.